Again, see how it goes. If you can't hear me, when people get in here, let me know. Leave a comment. That helps. Comments are just good altogether. Go back to our long frame though, since we're not doing anything crazy today. We've talked about rounding in the back a little bit, but let's dive right into it. Get on your mat. It's nice. I feel like I don't have to yell anymore. Feet a little bit wider than shoulder distance. Start with platter. Digging our forearms, our lower ribs. You don't want them too low. Get them on the ribs so you can feel. That's your serratus anterior. That wide breath. We do a wide breath. It should round just in the mid-back. So a lot of people think rounding, and they see rounding, oh, it's bad. A lot of people are always bringing their hips forward to try to hide rounding. So they're always squeezing their glutes, driving their head back, lifting their shoulders. As soon as we get our pelvis underneath us, these people realize that things are not as they believe, right? And sometimes we have this rounded look. It's not really that we're rounded, it's the pelvis is forward. So both these people have the same problem, the pelvis being forward. It's just some really drive the head back and lift the shoulders, which causes a whole host of problems. Or the others just go into it and compress. And sometimes these people don't actually feel that much pain. It's the people that are trying to have good posture that tend to have more pain. So pulling the pelvis underneath us just to start, bringing the head back, getting stacked. Just getting feedback from the forearms. Breathing into those forearms. Let's slowly trace the right forward, and I'm pulling back with the left. And we talked last time about this twist. So I'm counter-rotating against that natural twist we all have, do the diaphragm. So as I inhale, I get tall, get the hips underneath me. I'm turning on the front of my legs, shutting off the glutes. Reaching that right hand forward. I'm dragging along my rib cage. I'm pulling back on the left. A couple breaths right there. Every time we inhale, this palm is anchoring that rib cage down so it doesn't lift and extend. Pulling it down. Keeping some healthy round in our mid-back. So many people have lost this rounding. And when people do round, it tends to be the upper part here. Not the mid-back, not the diaphragm area. That always tends to be in extension. The rib cage is floated upwards, it's thrusted forward. So when you start, you keep, just start doing what you're doing on the left. Pulling both back. Retract, pull that rib cage back. Bring the head back with it, pelvis back with it. Mike's here, okay. Right hand reach. I think eventually I'm gonna do a PowerPoint. I'm going on vacation, so this is gonna be our last Saturday for a while, but I'll try to do stuff from the road, as well as work on some PowerPoints. To have all this information broken down for you. Now let's reach the left, but when we reach, keep that, everything stacked where it should be. Don't let everything collapse. Almost like you're pressing your body away from your hand as we reach. It should feel difficult, shaky to get it there. Seems like such an easy concept, but so many people struggle with that. Rotating, keeping that left pelvis back, left front of the rib cage back. Sphere of tension. Platter. Now let's keep that nice stacked posture. Bend the knees a little bit. Unlock the hips. Reach. Some people struggle with foundation training because they just don't know how to let the glutes go. Don't know how to let go of their rhomboids that are always pinching. That's reducing that rounding in their back. For lifting, we need the rounding. The strength training world understands how we need rounding in our spine. People who are doing yoga, they just don't get it. They don't understand why they're in pain. They just keep wanting to stretch deeper and deeper. It helps for a little bit, but just makes the problem worse and worse. So big stretch in the glutes here. I'm stretching the glutes out, turning on the hip flexors, front of the hip, the adductors. Let's reach again with the right. Bring the left hand to meet it if you can. Very tricky once you get that concept. Very hard. Very corrective. Just press the hips forward, drive your heels into the ground, come up tall. One lady I had this week, I just told her, okay, you know what? Debbie, just let it all go. We were in this position. I'm like, just bend your knees, look up at the ceiling. Glutes should shut off here. There's bending the knees a lot. There's a glute crunch, you just can't. You're squeezing the glutes, just thrusting the ribs. Then you tried your foundation training, you're already set up to lose. So just bending those knees, looking up at the ceiling. I had her start with the arms. Pull the arms down, keeping all that. We're still looking up at the sky. It's a beautiful morning. And then I had her pull the head long, wrap and squeeze the inner thighs, grabbing onto the ground. We're pulling the head back to the point where we feel like we're gonna fall backwards. What are your glutes doing? Keep it from falling forwards. So if you're starting to knock yourself on your butt, hopefully your butt muscles will turn off. But just letting it all go. Let everything go, your presupposed ideas of what good posture are. Go into this terrible position. Knees bent, you're looking up. So we're introducing a lot of curve in the neck here. That's what we want. A lot of people are doing these chin chucks, which are dumb, or reversing your curve. You're gonna cause more problems. I see the moon. Shoulders down to start. Let's start with the legs this time. Pushing the heels into the ground. Wrap and squeeze the inner thighs. As I pull my head up and back, I scoop to my sphere of tension. Driving my head back till I feel like I'm gonna fall backwards and my feet are holding onto the ground. Now we breathe. The core should be tight. Wrapping and squeezing. I'm reaching just enough where it rounds the middle of my back. I'm opening up my back. You feel really stiff and rigid. Breathing into the back of those ribs. Pulling the head long, so reducing rounding at the base of the neck. Lengthening, locking, opening up that mid-back, and that's gonna tie into what we're gonna do here with deadlifts today. So maybe that'll work for you, just trying to go right there. All right, kettlebell, just one today. Let's do a little stretch here. Unscripted. So even here, a lot of people arch their back. Don't do that. We don't want to flatten the low back either. That's where we don't want the rounding. We don't want the butt tucking, spine rounding in the bottom, the lumbar spine. I want to keep that pretty neutral. But I do want to round a little bit here, reach. It's nice, you kind of grab the kettlebell with one hand. Actually better if we had two, but one works, just holding, stretching that left shoulder out a little bit. Get this other side, gripping underneath. On top works too, but I kind of like this underneath grip. If you had two, that would work as well. And I'm not trying to dive my spine into the ground. Healthy curve. That's going to get you a better lat stretch right here. Yelling in that mic again. It's right where I want to breathe. I'm sorry. I just do light breaths, but I want you breathing big. Most people, the right lat is a lot tighter, so spend some extra time on this right side. This skull here, my brother got me. It's a little floppy. We're doing a little power. You don't have to do a power snatch today. I'm just trying to get you strong thrust from the ground. So we can do power cleans. I think we did those last couple weeks. But the snatch, especially with lightweight, really burns the legs out. So it's like you're deadlifting a lot of weight. Good little stretch on the ankles too. Let's start with just some deadlifts. Get this guy over here. This ground is very uneven, so whatever. I want the feet forward, parallel for the deadlift. Make sure this is still blinking at me. Yeah, we're good. Just talking to myself. Pull the hips back. That was a joke. Pulling the hips back. Think about that rounding. I'm grabbing the front of the rib cage. I'm lengthening that mid back. Rounding a little bit. I'm not rounding from the head. I'm not rounding from the low back. Head, chin is back, chest is up. Hinging the hips back. I'm keeping curve in the low back. I'm rounding a little bit from the mid back. You can almost add it last. That should engage your core more. Of course your stomach muscles can't engage if your ribs are lifted and thrusted open, okay? You might feel like you're working, but they're working in a very eccentric position, which is not good. They want to be shorter. Not too short. They're trying to be here. Saw a guy walking around the other day like that. Okay, no, all right, we can't go too much. They want to be there. Head back. Pulling those hips back. Rounding a little bit. So now we want Mr. Skull. Just right in between the arches of your feet. Sometimes I'll even bring it back more towards my heel. So here, if anything, I'm not going to round from my low back. I'm going to round from my mid back a little bit. Still drive my head up. So it's more about going down, reaching back. Because with this light weight, the lift is not the problem. 35 pounds is absolutely nothing. It's more about keeping your strong, good posture, that little bit of weight helping to pull you a little deeper. And if you feel like you're bending at your low back, it's hurting your SI joints, your lumbar joints, just don't go that deep. Maybe stop right there. And I'm breathing on the way down. Pressurizing that low back. Should feel the base of your skull all the way down, big stretcher, locking that mid-back area. We should not feel like we're here. We're trying to open up that mid-back, lengthen that neck, lengthen, lock the spine. So So a lot of people in the strength training world, they just get this. They understand how to round, to lock in, lengthen, lock the spine in a bit of a rounded posture. Now we do see rounding, but that's bad, but it's always from kind of like here in the spine where their butt is tucked and they're lifting like that. That is a bad round. And actually, it looks like it, but I'm not really rounded where I should be in the mid-back. Let's do some single leg stuff here. So we'll get into this B stance. If you're feeling froggy after this, we'll try some floating the leg. My balance is never great in the morning. So right hand, actually we'll do both. We'll do a little switch action here. This one's fun. Same thing, I'm pull that head back, lengthening, locking that spine. I'm hinging over one leg. This back leg is in a kickstand position. Heels up, it's just supporting. We call this the B stance. So trying to get that front leg to do most of the work. We can go top the foot, on the inside of the foot. You can switch the other hand, outside, going across. That wasn't supposed to be a switch. There we go. That's when I make things up on the fly. Good. Let's hit that other side. Change angles for you here. That B stance. Most of the weight in the front leg. Think about your 3 points of contact. And normally I say balls of the foot, foundation training. Here you can just be on the toe. I don't want you putting a lot of weight on that back foot at all anyways. Lengthening the spine, hinging the hip back. Now what some people will do is they'll just float that leg behind them. Just don't have it twist out too much. So we'll kick that leg back out. Come up. I'm allowing for a little knee bend here, but not a lot. If you're falling over like I'm about to be on this right side, then just go to the B stance, but I'll try a few. On this wonky ground. It just feels funky on this foot today. Do my best. Just do what I did there too. Just get the weight down. It slams for a second. That's all right. You don't have to keep that leg up the whole time. Good burn. Really feel that glute working on the way up. You just said don't use your glutes. using that glute in a very stretched position here. That's why the RDL works. RDL stands for Romanian deadlift. So we're using it in a stretched position. It trains it to work optimally, not just short, tight, like a balled up fist where everyone is just, when it's strong, you're strong in all positions and all lengths. Flexy. Just take a time on my right here today. Noticing big difference, really weak on this side. Part of that's balance because my surgery foot. That transfers into the daily life. Just not using that right leg as much as I should. So this usually feels really good. Oh, fight for one more. Oh, God. Wow. Oh. Amazing. My neighbor. Let's lose the hoodie. And we'll go from our deadlift. Oh, let's unattach that first. We'll do our deadlift into power cleans and power snatches. Smells like sausage and onions in this thing. I don't feel like I did that much today yet. Let's check that. I think we're still on. Doing some explosive motions here, so if the mic goes, I'm sorry. So let's get to the feet, to the edges of the mat, slightly turned out. For deadlift, normally no, I want you parallel, but if we're bringing it up, we're cleaning and we're squatting a little bit, we're power snatching, then yeah, we want that slight external rotation so we can go into the squat for that. So we're going from the deadlift, we're rounding, we're pulling those hips way back, and we're just, even though it's lightweight, we're doing this same motion. We're just doing it very hard so the weight floats. So I can either catch it here, or we're doing it so hard I can drop underneath and catch it in the overhead position. Now you're gonna see some bend in my elbow. That's not optimal. It's just chiropractor arms. Okay, get the Grover arms. So we gotta get these opened up. So we did a little stretch. It wasn't for you, it's for me. But yeah, loosening those lats up, hanging from a pull-up bar, doing really slow pull-ups. Those are my go-tos. Get that lat to stretch out at the bottom of the pull-up, and then doing another one. But this can really burn the front of the leg. Because that initial setup, where you're loading, stretching all the back of the leg here, pulling those hips back, breathing, I'm rounding a little bit, preparing. So if we're doing a clean, right there. Doing a snatch, set up again, head higher than the hips, pull those hips back, we're getting those shins vertical. Really stiff, shaky. It's a shaky launch. Power snatch. Let's do the other side. Go from this direction. Now I'm at a disadvantage here. Maybe that's good for my ankles. Sloped. Head back. It's probably gonna knock me on my butt. Good. back to this direction. In fact, I think this angle might be the most even for my stance here. If you're on a slope, lifting the heels can help you. So this will be to my advantage here. Sometimes barefoot is not always best. If you got some weightlifting shoes, this might help you get a deeper squat without killing your knees or killing your back. Okay. Thought I saw the sporadic flashing. So let's do clean, snatch, 4 rounds on each side. That was 1 round. 2. That was 4, I think. And I get this weight, I get it underneath my feet, right in the middle of my feet, almost in line with my ankles. Pulling those hips back, reaching, getting curve in the low back, rounding the mid back, curve inwards, inwards curves in the low back. Feel that tibialis anterior. Oh, it's working. Feels good. So, 35 is almost a little too light. You want a weight that scares you. If it scares you, at bottom position when you're in the deadlift, you're gonna push out of that so hard. So it's 35, I'm really thinking about it. I'm making it harder than it looks because I don't want my arm doing all the work. You said I'm almost floating. I'm here, pushing, pushing, pushing. It's a little pull, but I'm mostly getting underneath it. I'm exaggerating, I'm going a little deeper with the squat just to get that, but a lot of that is just real. I'm just here and I have to drop to be able to receive it. So we want that good squat to be able to do that. Now a lot of you can just get away with, yeah, I could feel how my arm had to work a little extra there though. 60 pounds, 70 pounds. I'm not gonna be able to do that. It forced me to use the legs. So if you do have a heavy kettlebell, you could try that. I just got Mr. Skull today. So I'm just gonna do another set. 4 on each side. I like that rack, gives you a little break. But let's add a little, so that just feels like it's needed. So I'll show you what that looks like. Going back to the right hand. You know what? Let's just lose this. I said all I had to say. We're gonna hit this out. Don't need the mic anymore. Let's claustrophobic. To this boy. There we go. All right, let's do 2 more rounds. 4 repetitions. Probably what I should say. 4 repetitions on each side. 2 rounds. Squat, thruster. Snatch. Try a little something different. I don't know how it's gonna work. You probably don't want to do this. Are you in the frame? I'll bring it up a little bit. Upended action. My neighbor Josh asked me about shoulder stability, working the rotator cuff. Come on. There we go. I don't know if that's better, but upended position is fun. You probably want to drop weight for this. Because for me, a rack position, hey, squat thrusters feel way too easy. It either needs to be heavy, or we could just do this. Let's see how this goes. So we go upended, squat thrust press down. Same thing, 4 repetitions. Both sides. Can't rain, no coffee. Same setup. How you like that? I was doing that for the snatch though. That made it a lot harder. So add that upended, have the other hand ready, or just flip it. Flip it to the outside. I'm making some wrist guards for class because they're too expensive. I'm gonna make them out of socks. It's a good option for you. You just kind of build the toughness. But I do remember when I first started learning, I had bruised this area, and I needed the wrist guard.
So I understand. Left side is probably the weaker side. That upended, so we'll see how that goes. The other hand's for it. Up and out. Come on, Nate. There we go. Just gotta get angry at it. Good job. Let's finish with double time. Whatever you can do. You want to bump up to 8 power snatches per side. Join me. If you're enjoying just deadlifts, it's fine. You could just be doing a founder. I'd be happy. You could just be taking that sphere down to the ground and coming back up. That's good too. Don't kill yourself. You're not ready. Just feeling a little fat today, so we're gonna do another round. This will be a tough one. 8's a lot. The burn is so burny in my legs. I like it. Ooh. Now they're on fire. All that. That's where I want. If it's hurting here, done something wrong. Stop snatching overhead. Back to deadlifts. If that hurts, goes back to founders. If that hurts, just go back to straight up decompression. I go here often. Here. Here. Pull the head back. Front foot has to respond, pulling. I'll wake up. Pulling the head back. Front foot responds, it's grabbing. Falling backwards. Chances are your glutes are not. Shut those glutes off. Hips are forward, tight. Head is forward, they're tight. And the head back, pelvis back with them. They'll shut off. This will turn on. This is what we should be burning. So, I go back to that decompression stance all the time. Something's hurting, you're back there. The rest of this is good. It's fun. It's more fun. I'll give you that. It's more fun. But if you're in pain, just decompress. Jennifer Castenbaum. Thumbs up. Thank you.